Hi, and welcome to the YouTube channel. And today we're going to be talking to teacher Leandra, who's going to be sharing with us her experience with online teaching. So, teacher Leandra, first of all, welcome. How are you today?
Thank you so much. I am very well, thank you. And how are you?
I'm very, very good. Thank you so much for having time and making time out of your busy schedule. I do know that you have a tight one, especially with the kids and the family. So, we are just
Thank
going
you
to,
so much for having me.
oh, you're most welcome. We're just going to talk about being online and what your experience has been thus far. So I've got a few interview questions for you. So could you please introduce yourself to our audience?
Sure. Okay, so I am Leandra. I am a certified online ESL teacher. I've been teaching for more than 4 years in the class, and I'm currently on my first year of doing it online.
Wow, wow, congratulations. And I'm
Thank
glad that you're doing
you.
it. How have you found this journey and why online teaching?
I have found it so far. I'm enjoying it. I definitely am. It does come with a lot of work. I chose online teaching because I have a family and I wanted to have more time with my kids and my husband and of course
Mhm.
myself. We matter.
Oh, of course, of course. I agree with that a lot. If anything, I must say that from my work and experience with online teaching is that it's a lot of work. It's a lot
Absolutely.
of work. And that is one of the things that, people do not see behind the scenes that you show up pretty, but behind the scenes, there's a lot of chaos that also happens there. So it's pretty
Yeah.
ugly. It's that ugly, pretty kind of feeling that you have with online teaching. And my next question is, what have the pros and cons been so far for you since you've started online teaching? And when was your official start date with online teaching, if you can remember it that specifically?
Specifically, I definitely can. So I started on the 28th of February 2022. So it's not such a long time, but yeah,
Hmm.
it's a lot of work in the short period of time.
Yeah.
So the pros that I found with online teaching is definitely time.
Mm.
Although it does require a lot of time, one of the advantages definitely include having time of your own. So
Hmm.
basically, because it's such a flexible line of work, if you make sure that you are organized and manage your time correctly, it's definitely an advantage. I could also mention growth. There is
Mm.
so much growth, so much room for growth in this industry. If you dedicate yourself, you definitely can go very far. And just simply working from the comforts of your own home. I mean, who
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
want to do
Oh, of
that?
course. Of course. That is one of my top tier peak points that I really, really, really do like.
Yeah.
And how about some of the
Okay.
cons?
And
Because I know everybody loves to hear the good side and how much money you
yes.
can make, the time, the flexibility. But let's go into the ugly part of online teaching and what has that been like for you?
Okay, so my cons would include, okay, so teaching online definitely requires a lot of self-discipline.
Mm.
You will learn things about yourself that you had no idea about. Um, the work, and the technical problems. Honestly, it's
Yeah.
something that I never ever thought about until I got into this industry. So
Mm-hmm.
because you're not face to face with your students, technology can definitely be a huge problem. Little
Mm-hmm.
things like your Wi-Fi going down or weather affecting your network,
Oh,
and
yes.
you get some difficult, students and that are very not understanding, but you also get some very understanding ones as well. But it's just one of the disadvantages of this.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Working from home definitely can also be a con if you have kids. Something that I have experienced. Having young kids, they don't understand your line of work. So
Yeah.
they still look at you as, mom, you need to be
Mm-hmm.
here for us. And they can be really noisy and constantly need your attention.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and mental fatigue. Oh my word.
I think
This
in my first month, let me even drop it down to my first week of online teaching. I felt like I was just, what is going on? I felt so exhausted just mentally, and people could not understand. How do you feel mentally tired and not be able to do anything with your body? I must say, with physical fatigue, you know that you need to rest your body, and you do
Yes.
that sleeping. Whereas mental fatigue, you go to bed and you're like, oh my gosh, I haven't done A, B, C, D, E, F. I still need to do all of this and need to do all of that and
Yes.
organize this and organize this. Then you think of a website and blah, 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 blah. It's all over the show. So, how do you cope and how do you find a balance for that mental fatigue?
Preparation is key.
Hmm.
So rather be tired mentally, for example, be mentally tired on that Sunday and okay, you are done. So focus on that Saturday, dedicate your entire Saturday for this completely. That okay, Sunday comes, I know I'm done. I can be mentally tired, it's okay because I'm done. So preparation will definitely count for that. Because you cannot keep doing it, so much in one day.
Yeah.
And every day you're constantly going to be tired. So yeah, definitely preparation.
Okay. So how much time aside on a Saturday or Sunday do you dedicate to actually preparation?
Okay, so because on a Saturday and Sunday, obviously I'm free. I dedicate the exact same hours that I would dedicate in a normal working day. So I use my Saturday as my working day, but this is all for preparation. So if I start my normal day at 7 to 3, then that is the time that I'm going to dedicate for my preparation.
That is really, really self-discipline, I must say. And what is that one thing that you've learned about yourself that you did not know Leandra has within herself?
I would definitely say self-discipline. I never ever thought that I had it in me. When I started this, I was like, this is not for me. I cannot, sit and be like, okay, this is what I need to do at this time and that time and that time. And in the beginning, it was extremely difficult.
But I threw you into the deep end, right? I took you and I just shoved you in there.
Exactly. So I had to learn that very, very fast.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I did. Because it's much easier for me now. Although it hasn't been a very long time, but because of the capacity of work that I actually had to do.
Yeah.
And so it's taught me a lot. In a short period of time, I have definitely learned a lot about myself as well.
That is amazing. And I must say, I did throw you into the deep end. Purposefully, though. I did it because I knew that if it's going to be paced well for you, it would be something you'd be relaxed with and something you take your time on and you'd be like, okay, I'll get to it. I'll do it. It's fine. Okay. But I saw that when I threw you into the deep end, you had to just, okay, I'm going to sink or swim here. And you definitely swam, which was really, really nice to see. And you were also a really nice student to work with and somebody to, as I've said to you in the past, you are that go-getter type of person. And I really do like your attitude to working as well. My next question is, everybody thinks as because you have this flexible time, we've spoken about the work that you put in on a weekend, your family. Let's talk about your family dynamics and the work that you put in. How understanding is your husband about, okay, look, Saturday, I have to work, I have to prep, I have to plan. And how do you manage with that?
Have an extremely understanding husband and a very helpful one as well. He knows that once I have these things on and once I am in front of this laptop, I cannot be disturbed. And that is one thing that I've made very clear. And I'm so grateful for him that he has understood it. And he's actually pushed me so much further. I would honestly not be where I am if it wasn't for him. Him coming home. And I mean, he also has it's hard labor, okay? And him coming home, dropping whatever he has to do, get the kids ready. He takes them, he keeps them while, mom's busy. You guys have to stay here, you guys, and he keeps it entertaining for them not to even just come to me and, cry for me or anything like that. So He's been amazing through this entire
Godsend.
journey.
Definitely godsend. I think in this line of work, you definitely need somebody who is equally as understanding about what you're doing and not thinking that just because you're on the computer, it's not a lot of work, you're wasting time, you're just fiddling and playing around on the internet. It's not all that easy and that glamorous, I must say. And I'm so glad that you have a partner who is willing and able to support you with the kids as well. My next question here is, what is the misconception people have of the online teaching industry? So since you become an online teacher, prior to that, what did you think about online teaching, and now that you are an online teacher?
Okay, so there are many things I can mention, but the main points will definitely be that this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. Okay, so this is something that I'm very guilty of. This is something that I thought. I was like, I'm going into this second month, I'm making it. Couldn't be further from the truth, honestly. This industry, it requires so much time, so much hard work, and people honestly think that online teaching is a gravy train that's just easy and no work has to be put in.
Yeah, that's very true. However, is there money in online teaching? Can you make a decent salary? Can you navigate through all the ups and downs and say, you know what, this is a worth it journey? Are you able to see that now as an online teacher?
Absolutely, 100%. This industry, you can grow so fast and so far in this industry, where you can work less and earn more. Okay, so that would be obviously the aim for it. And I'm not saying it's easy, but it is so achievable if you put in the work. This will be my answer for everything. If you put in that work, it is so achievable. You can achieve, if you put down that figure that you want to achieve and you put in that work that you want to, you want to do, and you constantly are going to do it, you definitely can. Absolutely.
I 100% agree with that. If anything, I'm the biggest affirmationist ever. I'm always speaking positive over my classes, over my teaching, over everything that I do, and putting that figure there just to motivate you, because there's those days where you just feel like, especially because it's a game of self-discipline, you feel like, what, today I don't want to work. I'm just going to take a lazy day. It's okay to do that. It's easy to do that. But the discipline comes in where you say, it's only one day that I'm taking off and not the entire week. You have to get yourself back into it and say, okay, I'm going to do it this way. My next question for you is, please tell me the reality of your time management, because I know as much as we try to have it as perfect as possible, the family dynamics do play an enormous role with the kids. You can never just say, as much as we say, okay, please listen to mommy, bear with mommy, help mommy. Even with our husbands who are already so supportive, we've also just got to say, you know what, right now I can't. I've got to focus on my family. What are what's been the toughest with time management? Because you are working a full-time job at the moment. You're a mom, you're a wife. You need time for yourself as well. And you also serve in the community. So how do you do it?
Okay, so listen, in this industry, one thing I can say is every minute of your day counts. Okay, so you better make it worth it.
Oh, yeah.
So if I am going to take the time that I have dedicated for my online and I'm going to use it somewhere else, you best believe that I am definitely going to do what I am doing to the best of my ability, even if it's not online. Okay? So, time is money. And money cannot be lost just due
Can I just add, I just want to interrupt there. There is Baba needing mommy, and this is exactly the reality of online teaching.
Exactly, and he's, there he is right here, and he's, mom, look.
It's just for your excitement, because he sees mom being at home, and he wants you involved in his day. And as you said, they don't always understand what it is that you're doing, and they do need mommy there to support them along the day. And when they see mommy at home, it's like, hey, mommy's at home, she's not at work. They don't see it as work. So I'm actually glad that happened, where he came in and people do get to see the reality of what happens at home as an online teacher. And you cannot just shut your kids out and say it's easy to do that. It's not. If anything, it's one of the most difficult things to do.
Absolutely.
Is to see your child needing you and you are doing something else. Okay, so as we were speaking about rejection, please tell me, what does it feel like to get rejected in this industry? Because we do apply to jobs. We do hope that we get the job, of course, hence applying.
Yeah.
But of course, we are going to come across rejection. How have you handled rejection? How does it feel? And what do you think it's there to help you with?
Okay, so I've gone through this way too many times. And it's really hard, so especially after working so hard and picturing yourself in a specific company. It was actually one of the hardest things I had to face in this industry. I felt like, this isn't for me. No one wants to work with me. Why am I doing this? But to be honest, perseverance is key.
Oh, yes.
Because there are tons of people pushing and fighting their way to the front of the line in this industry. I mean, as I said in the beginning, who does not want to do this? So obviously there's going to come that rejection and that feeling of, like, oh, no one wants to work with me. You eventually just have to push that aside, and you have to remember, like, okay, I'm in this. And rejection comes in every aspect of your life. You just have to take it and move. That's the best that you can do.
The last time you got rejected, I remember you literally felt so sad and you sent me a message about it and we spoke about it. How do you feel now about that rejection? Do you think that you're strong enough to reapply at that school? Do you think that that was a lesson in disguise, that you need to change something about your teaching style or your application method? Or any way did it groom you to grow?
Absolutely. So when I applied for this specific company, I read about them and I also got a lot of information that it's a really good school. And, I pictured myself in the school and I pictured myself living this life, especially with the school. And, it was a reality in my head that I had it.
Yeah.
And that is the mistake that we make. I had jumped the gun, and when I went onto the site and I saw the word rejected, I was dumbfounded. I was so sad. And
I remember because you also went on there by mistake, remember?
Yes. I wasn't even going onto it. I was going onto another site, and it just so happened. And that day, I kept checking that site. And the one time that I was not going on to check the site, that was when I got the news. Okay, so fine. I sat, I thought about it, and I cried. I did definitely cry.
I'm glad you did.
And I came back, and and we had spoken, and I thought, okay, let me first get some more information. It definitely is on my side. Okay, I cannot fault them for not hiring me. It's definitely me. I'm not going to make excuses. It's something that I had done. So I emailed them back saying, okay, can you please give me a bit of feedback about the interview? What can I change? What can I do differently in order to get, into the company? Unfortunately, they did not respond, but it's okay. Obviously, from then to now, I have been watching a lot of interviews. I have been watching a lot of also ESL teachers just talking, also just teaching.
Yeah.
And I have noticed that there's a lot that I'm also not doing. So it has been, because had I not been rejected, I probably was not going to go online and look at interviews and look at how other people teach. And so had I not done that, I probably wouldn't know what I do now. I wouldn't say that I want to apply right now. I want to still grow a little bit further in this industry and make myself more comfortable with it, because there's also a lot of aspects that I'm still not comfortable with. So I don't want to go back into it, and I'm still not 100% sure, and then I go into it and I fail.
Again, So you definitely don't want that. So I like that you're not totally rejecting it and that you're still open to the possibility of going into it, but at a later stage, once you've developed certain things about yourself. And I must say that online teaching is a self game. You have got to get down with yourself. You've got to be truthful to yourself. The moment you start making excuses, That is the moment you
Yes.
close off learning and the moment you close off any possibility with a future school. So you constantly have to recheck yourself. You constantly have to be open to learning. You constantly have to be checking what are other teachers doing, but not make what other teachers are doing influence your teaching style, but just
Yeah.
improve and enhance what you already have as a teacher. On a whole note, my next question here is, how did you find my coaching? So I know you approached me, you spoke to me, I told you about my coaching. How did you find my coaching? And do you advise somebody going into the online industry to do it on their own or to find a coach?
Okay, so your coaching skills were absolutely phenomenal.
Thank you.
That is one thing I can definitely say. You made this journey so much more enjoyable and so much more easier. Not easier in the sense of, less work, but you've explained it and you covered so much and everything that I needed for online teaching. And honestly, I could have never asked for anyone better. And you were just someone that I felt very comfortable with.
Thank you.
If I had any problem, I would come to you, and if you look in reality of life, okay, if you have a coach and you are facing a problem in whatever this person is coaching, the last person you would actually want to go to is your coach, because you would feel that, okay, you coaching me and me coming to you with something that I don't, know. But the fact that you made me so comfortable and you showed me that, listen, this isn't roses and but it's hard, and the fact that I could come back to you and be like, "D, help," and I probably, I was 3:00 in the morning, Diana, I need this, I need that, and you were always just you were there constantly. And so with the problems in this industry, they're best, to be honest. I know that you have faced so many, and I think I would definitely advise a lot of people to not go on by yourself as much as you feel that you can, as much as you have the confidence. It is not that easy. You definitely need someone with the expertise. You definitely need somebody with the experience, with the knowledge, just to guide you. They're obviously not going to be there to do the work for you, but just to guide you, because there's a lot in this industry that you go in with thinking but when you get there, it's something completely different.
It is. It really, really is. And coming from me, who started off this journey on my own, wow, the journey, it was a thing that I had nobody to bounce back off. I had nobody to just voice out, help me. I had nobody to, how do I do this? How do I do that? I literally had myself and the internet, and the internet sends you into this journey of which one, it's never that specific answer of, okay, this is what you're doing wrong, this is how you need to do it. It is never that specific, it's always takes you down this journey that you really don't want to go into, especially when you're cut for time. And wow, it's been a journey for me as well, learning it on my own. So thank you very much for those words. They are really settling in there. They make me feel good. And I must say, it actually created a friendship. It started a friendship with you and I, definitely. And we've learned a lot about each other, and we know more about each other now, not just the aspect of friendship, but we know we can talk business, and we know how to separate business and friendship together. When it comes to friendship, we are totally different people. When it comes to work, we are totally different people as well. And I think I like that aspect as well. My next one is, how soon after meeting me were you able to get your first interview and land your first job? I think this is the question everybody's asking. They want to know the dollar, they want to know how long did it take you? But I also want to add to this that you were not lazy. You were not lazy. Every time I sent you that job application, you applied. Every time I said, do this, you did it. You were not lazy. So you were able to really snatch those things really quickly because you were able and willing to do it. So please, can you just elaborate more on that?
Okay, so I landed my first job a month after meeting you. And I mean, that speaks for itself. I don't really have to elaborate more on that. I don't have to explain, but it definitely does come with, with the discipline you have to put in. So yeah, I didn't just lay there and be like, okay, she sent me some job applications, I'll see you tomorrow. As soon as they came in, I sent. But yes, I was able to send, and I was able to do all this because of, I mean, the coaching that I received. So definitely you play a huge role in that.
Thank you. I'm glad that we are making dollars. I'm glad.
Yes.
And how does it feel to be earning in a different currency? Like just not the rand. How does that feel?
It's amazing. And I go into my bank account and I'm like, what? What is this? It's amazing. But I have to go into my calculator and, do the yes,
conversions. We are about this life. We are about this life. I'm glad that you're enjoying it. And did you expect to get a job so soon?
Absolutely not. I didn't expect it. I was not prepared for it. Like it all happened really, really fast.
It did.
And when I sent out the applications, I mean, yes, positivity and, I put it out there, but I did not expect it to come back a month. That,
But I must say, I think it's because of your discipline. It's because you were really not lazy. And I always say to you, this is the energy that I need. This is the person that I want to work with. You cannot be lazy in this industry. If you are, as you said, people are definitely fighting to get to the front of this, and somebody else is going to get it. Somebody else is going to take the opportunity. Yes. You have got to be constantly working. And as you know, you've tried to help other people as well. And it's been let's maybe not. Let's maybe not.
But it's been a journey.
It has been a journey. It's just egg in your face when people don't value the time that you put into it, because you have your own lifestyle, you have your own life that you have to work with, and then you still want to give, you still want to help, and people just don't value that. That is, for me, I think one of the cons of this industry is that people don't value
absolutely
time.
Yes, definitely.
What about making time for friends?
Extremely important.
Making time for friends, making time for friends in your social life.
Okay, so listen, in the beginning, I am basically all about the focus. So right now, yes, I can see it in my future. And for me right now, it's not even something that I would really want. I am focused on, getting that dollar. Right now, I'm going to meet you. I will meet you there in the next 2 years. And when I meet you, I'm going to meet you. You understand? So I would rather sacrifice those times right now.
Yeah.
So to be honest, I have not to say I don't have a social life. Yes, I still do. It is very important to do this. This comes with time management.
Yeah.
You have to also balance your life. It cannot just be, work.
That's true.
You're not going to make it with that. Okay. So, but you have to make that sacrifice. So you cannot say, okay, Friday I'm going out, so Friday's lesson I'll move to Monday, or I'll do it on Thursday.
Yeah.
If you have that time, then, by all means do what you need to do, but definitely make sure that this is something that is not taking out of your pocket, that this is something that is not going to sway you from focus. If you're doing it, do it with, full intention that, okay, I cannot, be doing this and then Monday, if you want to say hungover, whatever the case may be, so
That's true.
Have a social life, but to a certain extent.
I agree a lot with that. And I think another con with this industry is that if you're not working, you're not earning. That is simply it. A lot of people say, but you're making so much money. You got money. It's simply because I'm working. So all that money is work. It's hours put in. It is time focused to doing that. So it's not like the job where you can take off and you're still getting paid, that basic wage. With this job, if you're not working, if you're not in front of the screen, if you're not doing something, you are not earning. And that is as simple as it gets. I think that also brings a person back into that discipline, like, okay, you need to make that, for the bills and everything to be covered effortlessly at the end of the month. My next question here is, would you recommend this course that I'm selling, Online with D? And what has your key highlight been thus far?
I would definitely recommend it. Absolutely, 100%. Okay, so my highlight from my journey so far, I honestly, is the feedback. The feedback that I have received from companies as a whole. So let alone students, the feedback that I've gotten from students has been amazing. But companies themselves, I've had companies come to me and say, listen, we're not hiring like right now, but we are so interested just looking at your CV or just listening to your introduction video. And, from just doing this, I did my introduction video in mid-Feb. And for them to tell me these things now is, it's amazing. And it was my first ever introduction video. I've never ever made an introduction video. It's my first ever. And for them,
it was damn good. It was damn good for you first. Thank you so much. It was really good.
Thank you.
You don't want to see my first.
Actually, I think I need to, please.
I'll think about it.
Yeah. So definitely, and just how understanding the students are, working with different personalities every day. You get so many different people, but you get really good people out there.
That's true.
With what's happening in KZN right now, it was extremely difficult for me to teach for the week, and I tried by all means, and I had to postpone or reschedule with some classes, and my students, they weren't even interested in the teaching or the lessons. They were like, oh my God, is your family safe? Are you safe? Just get just keep safe whatever you do. So it's really been amazing.
You definitely build that relationship. It's not longer just student and teacher. You actually really do build that relationship. And before we close off, give me one piece of advice that you would want to give anyone starting out with the online ESL. The journey. It's not just a sprint, it's a journey. What would you tell them?
Sure.
Where to begin?
Okay, so what would I tell someone starting out? Make sure that this is what you want to do. Definitely make sure that, if you feel that this isn't for you, do not do it. Because if this is not a passion, you will not grow in this. You have to have a passion for this line of work. So if you feel that you have that passion, go for it. And that is another word of advice. Go with every ounce of your being. Do whatever you have to do to get to where you want to be. But if you feel that this is not for you, do not. Because not only for you, the students do not deserve someone that is not passionate about talking to them. If you do not get goosebumps on your face when you are talking to your students, do not do it.
It's not for you. It's not for you.
It's not for you.
I think because everybody just sees people doing things, they just want to do things. And I must say, this does come with passion. And a student can immediately pick up if you're passionate about it or not. And I would not want my name on any label that is just, dead and you are not there.
Yeah.
You're just there for the money. It's not going to work. It will not work. You'll find yourself out of this industry before you can even say, I'm in the industry, you'll be out of it. And I don't want anybody to go through that. If anything, I would also say the one thing is that you have to play your accent up in this industry. You have to change your accent.
Definitely. Absolutely. Yes.
How did you find that with the accents? How?
I ask myself the same question every day. How? So it was actually a very difficult part of it. So I still struggle. I still definitely do struggle, but it's something that, like you, if I listen to something quite often, I can pick up on, accents. It may be slightly different. Obviously, it's not going to be the exact same.
Yeah.
But definitely just listening to other people and trying to just mimic as they talk. Just
have to do.
Add to it.
So you a learner at the same time as being a teacher and being a coach to your students as well. And I just want to leave off on a note that this girl is getting the bag, y'all. She is getting the bag. And she's got companies lined up. They are companies. She's constantly applying. It's not like it's just today and then, okay. With anything with the online industry is that you have to have a backup. You always have to have a backup. And are you ready for this roller coaster?
I so am.
There we go.
I am extremely nervous, but I'm so ready for it because I know the outcome.
Yeah.
That is my vision. I can see past it. So I'm so ready to do this, to reach there. So that is my main vision.
I'm really glad that you're on the stage today. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in with teacher Leandra Ogle, who is an online ESL teacher, and she is doing an amazing job. I want to say thank you for your time, and we'll see you in the near future. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.